Right now in the Mojave Desert, a massive transfer of wealth is happening in total silence. It's called the Silver Tsunami. A generation of pool route owners, the folks who built six-figure cash flow machines with nothing but a white pickup and a test kit, they're retiring. They're not looking for private equity, they're looking for an exit. In markets like Las Vegas, Arizona, and Florida, these routes are trading for roughly 10x monthly recurring revenue, or MRR. For the price of a midsize SUV, you can buy a contractual stream of high margin, recession proof cash. But there is a catch. If you buy wrong, you're just buying a high stress job. And if you build wrong, you'll drown in customer acquisition costs. Today, we're providing a business breakdown on the pool industry to see if you should be the grinder or the architect. Let's start by looking at the build model. Now, this is based on the bootstrapper persona strategy. This is perfect for somebody that's got not a lot of cash around who's willing to trade in sweat equity for the bought foundation. Your initial capex, capital expenditure, it's going to be lean. You need a work truck, which you can probably pick up for around 5,000 in most of these markets, and your initial load of chemicals is going to run about 300 bucks. For gear, you're going to need a hose, a vacuum head, and poles. Call it another 300 bucks. Least and likely most important, you're going to need to spend a few hundred on some flyers, door hangers, and business cards. These are your advertisements. You should be putting them everywhere you go. I'm saying your initial startup on this could be about $5,600. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, and while we're on marketing, I want to strongly suggest that you set up a referral program from the jump. All right, now your unfair advantage is that you're the technician, the salesperson, the billing department, and yeah, you're the chief janitor too. In a single person startup like this, if it needs doing, you're the doer. However, the fatal flaw that most people run into here, it's called customer concentration, or really the lack thereof. When you build from zero, your route density is going to be garbage unless you pay attention to it. If you have 20 minutes between each of your stops, you're never going to make your money. In this style business, that windshield time we're talking about, it's your margin killer. It's one of your biggest dangers. If you spend 40% of your day driving, your economics are simply going to collapse. You're paying for gas and vehicle wear while no pools are being cleaned. So, how do we fix this? Well, a quick tip would be only take on clients in a single zip code. That's a simple way to keep track of it. And sometimes zip codes can be big, so you really want to be paying attention to trying to 5 minutes from one stop to the next. Another idea would be to set up each day so that it's focused on a very specific, maybe subdivision or tight knit area. You want to set those up on one day for this subdivision, one day for that subdivision if possible. This is going to help you get to that 5 minutes between stop target that we're looking for. All right, let's change our hats. Let's take a look at the architect strategy. This is when we're going to buy existing routes. Now, according to the data that we looked at here, owner operated routes under 80 pools, they typically trade at single digit multiples. Think 8x or 9x MRR. Now, for example, look at this recent listing we found in the Summerlin, Nevada. It's a 55 account route. It's also earning $7,425 in MRR, and they priced it at $89,000. That's a 12x multiple. Why the premium? Well, it's because it's extremely tight. It hit that target we talked about a second ago, that 5 minute drive time per stop. It also has automated billing. You aren't just buying pools, you are buying geographical density. That density turns windshield time into wrench time, which is where your profit lives. You may have already assumed, and you would be right, that there's a massive shift in valuation once you cross certain thresholds. All right, so when you're under 80 pools, these are likely going to be owner operated, and the multiple stays lower because if the owner quits the system, it's fragile. It's probably going to break. Now, a lot of folks get to this 80 pool track. That is where most solar entrepreneurs fail because at 80 pools, you have hit physical capacity. You're too tired to market and you're too busy to do those high margin repairs. So, where are we really trying to get to? Once you get to that 150 pool mark, your business becomes a turnkey system. And routes at that scale that are generating over 350 grand a year in cash flow, they often trade at much higher double digit multiples, specifically around a 20.6 MRR multiple. Obviously, that's double what we were looking at before. And that's mainly because The person buying this business knows that they can play the CEO and they don't have to go be the tech. It does vary by state. Nevada and Arizona, they command high prices due to extreme heat and year round demand. While Florida has a massive volume of pools, these routes can sometimes be very spread out. They could also be seasonal depending on the region. To increase your profit margin, consider adding tightly coupled services. Don't just clean the water, also do repairs. A standard cleaning runs about a 20% margin, but a motor replacement or a salt cell install, that's got a 50 to 60% margin. You can use the recurring cleaning as your hook, and that's going to help you capture those high margin equipment failure repairs. Be sure that your clients are aware that you do this work. You want to work to become their trusted advisor. So, how do we fund the purchase? Well, look, if you're starting from zero, the path is what I'm calling the 50 pool pivot. Grind until you hit 50 pools. Do everything in your power to grow a tight route density group of 50 pools. And then use that cash flow to hire a 1099 contractor for 2 days a week. That's going to buy back your time. With that time, market, 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 sign up as many people as you can. Now, if you've got some capital, don't spend it all on the purchase. Get a seller's note. Many retiring owners in the Silver Tsunami, they're willing to act as your bank. Plan to put about 30% down. That's pretty common for commercial loans. And the business's own P&L, it's going to pay off the balance over a number of years. 3 years is pretty common. You might be able to get 5. You are essentially using the pools to buy themselves. Earning 10K a month, it's not a dream. It's just a simple math problem. Whether you build or you buy, the winner is the one with the best systems. So tell me, if you had 50K today, would you bootstrap or would you leverage with a note? Tell us in the comments.